It's your young man, Kerry Brady, future sports commentator, future spokesperson, and hopefully I will be a future spokesperson f- for the black people and the activists, for my people. But I just want to say, if you're watching this video, hey, get the views up, get my subscriber count up. Hopefully you guys subscribe, like, and comment. Like, comment, subscribe, whichever way, vice versa. Hope you guys like my video. And today, as you can see, it's another sports topic. Now, you're wondering why I'm wearing the Redskins, right? They're in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. They have about, I would say, one Super Bowl, right? Great players like Sean Taylor, my favorite, rest in peace. Then after Sean Taylor, you got Santana Moss, right? Then right after that, you got Clinton Portis, running back, Deshaun Jackson. They had RG3, but he didn't do as well. But he did well a little bit for the Washington Redskins. And the list goes on for the Redskins. Pretty good team, right? But here's why I'm talking about the team. The team's name. For the second time, I'm assuming, they're under investigation or say they're underviewing the name. The Redskins. Now, as I like to do, if you watch my previous videos, here's the three things I break down my topics with. I break it down with facts, sources, and also my opinion. So here's what I'm going to break it down with. With the facts. Redskins. Okay, that is the Washington Redskins. That's their name, owned by Dan Snyder. Now, the Redskin, the name itself, Native Americans have been offended. Now, some are not, but some are. And it really not only hurt their feelings, but also feel like they're, should I say, judging their ancestors on the way they look, on their hair and their style. Not saying they're Native Americans, but calling them Redskins. And the Redskin, that term goes way back. I would like to say the 1700s, but on the source, from what I've seen on the internet, it goes back to the 1800s with President James Madison referring to, I guess you can say, the Native Americans as red people or redskins. It goes back to, you have lieutenants and soldiers, like purgatory things saying, oh, if you find these redskins and kill them and hunt them as if they're animals, they're worth $200. You see, this term hurts a lot of people. This term hurts a lot of Native Americans, their heritage, their family members, and just, what their people stood for. They don't want to be called Redskins. So you just looking at them off of their skin, not seeing them as the man, the person. That's like judging someone with a tattoo. Oh, that's the guy with the tattoos. See? That's just my opinion. But let me get to the sources and details and facts. So, here's the facts. FedEx, which owns part 10% specifically of the Washington Redskins organization, right? The CEO, Frederick Smith. Now, he's telling Dan Snyder and the organization to undergo to take further steps of changing the name. So, one of the sources that really intrigued me and that I read is CNN Business. So, CNN Business saying that FedEx, the company which owns the stadium, meaning that they invest specifically, if I'm not mistaken, 162 or 5 billion assets. So, Frederick Smith, the CEO, has invested a lot into that organization for the stadium to be built and, to make profit off of the team or organization. But sources are saying, as I read, more than 80% of shareholders, investors, and other companies that invest into FedEx are pushing the envelope to tell Frederick Smith that if you do not terminate your business with a company or organization that has a name that, should I say, is derogatory to other people, to how they look and who they are, then they're going to cut ties with them. Meaning that those 80% of shareholders, those 80% of investors and other groups they're not going to work with FedEx anymore, meaning that they're not going to invest in the FedEx for FedEx to do their job. So FedEx is going to have to find their money somewhere else. And I'm assuming Mr. Smith, Frederick Smith, the CEO, he's not going to do that. So FedEx, I guess they want to do the right thing, which in my opinion, I'm not going to say it's BS, but they are pushing the envelope, echoing the same thing what they got from their shareholders and investors to say, hey, if you do not change this name, if you're not willing to make change and to stop using this name, making profit off of others' pain and off of others, should I say, misery, and making a mockery of their ancestors and who they are, knowing that they don't want to be looked as that, then we're going to have to terminate business. We're going to have to terminate our business venture and the communication, business communication, and business partnership. But not only FedEx are planning to terminate their business deal and group business partnership with the Washington Redskins, Nike CEO John Donahoe, he's getting the same thing from his shareholders and groups, letting him know you need to terminate and stop, merchandising for this team. As of Thursday, I think midnight from CNN Business, and you can go on there yourself, search it up, Nike.com. I repeat, search it up, Nike.com. If you search up a merchandise in a search bar, Redskin, you will not, I repeat, you will not find any merchandising. So Nike, now they are planning not to merchandise their clothes or any other merchandise like t-shirts, hats, anything. So they're planning not to merchandise them. So now you have a big partnership not willing to invest money into this team anymore or the stadium, right? Or have their name with that team anyway, meaning if it's the stadium or just the organization planning not to invest because of their shareholders don't want to invest in them because they're, I guess you can say, associated with you guys because of this name. And now you have your number one merchandising company, Nike, planning not to make any more cleats, planning not to sell any more merchandise, planning not to even make any more jerseys for this team, just equipment, all of above. So now, if you don't have any investors investing into the team, if you don't have any jerseys or equipment being made, which is Nike, which is the gloves, I mean, maybe, you have different, I understand you got your Adidas and you got your Reebok, but if the NFL has a sponsorship specifically with Nike, then how are you going to look for other, I mean, if it's possible, I guess the Redskins are going to have to look for another sponsorship, them by themselves, the only team in the league to, I guess, work with Adidas or Under Armour. But I don't think that's possible because then the NFL is not going to be making money. And the NFL wants to make their dollar off of every team. So just imagine that. You don't have your investors now. They're planning to terminate their partnership with you. And then you have your number one merchandiser sponsorship figuring out, hey, look, if you guys don't change the name soon, we're going to terminate our partnership with you, meaning no more Nike Redskins jerseys for the players, also no more merchandising on the internet, meaning fans are not going to be able to buy their merchandise, even though I'm assuming Washington, the capital, fans have other ways, they're going to have other ways to sell merchandise, but just imagine that. Then, surprisingly, I didn't know, you have Bank of America, Maryland Lynch, that I found on CNN Business. They're actually another investment into the Washington Redskins organization. They're pushing an envelope saying that we do not want to be associated with the company or a brand that has a name that represents hate, that has a name that's derogatory and hurts other people's character, just not considering other people's feelings and character. So they're saying they're going to try to create change and let them know. They echo the same thing. They echo what Nike has been saying. They echo what FedEx has been saying. And they're echoing what all these 80% of shareholders, investors, and groups are saying. That we're not going to keep working with you guys if you guys don't change the name. Now, here's why Redskin, that term may hurt. Not even may, hurts. Just all the way, hurts. And is a racial slur to some, not to some, to most of the Native American community. Number one, America, sadly, let's be honest, kids, It was based on hate. It was founded on hate, killing the Native Americans. If we all want to be honest, we're all minorities, blacks, whites, and Hispanics. The Native Americans are the true Americans. They're the real Americans. And for the Europeans and white men to kill, slaughter the Native Americans and not knowing them as people, creating these stereotypes saying that they're bad people and thieves, killing them, right? Killing mothers, killing women and children and men, taking over their land because they have guns and artillery. It's easy for them to shoot them and kill them, sadly, right? Because the Native Americans didn't believe in those things. They didn't have those kind of weapons, I would say. And then now, years later, you guys want to make money off of their pain. You guys want to make money off of their culture after what America has done to them, and teach them not the full history, but not teaching them what really happened to them. And now you want to do this? That's why even when I look up the history of the Redskin and that slur and that term, you have even the owner, Dan Snyder, 2013. Look it up. He says, we're not going to change the name. Never. It's that simple. Never. In all caps. So this man is overlooking that this brand or this name can be hurting other Native Americans that don't support these because, hey, that's hurting our heritage. That's hurting our ancestors, what they've gone through and what they've been through. Even us. Dan Snyder, have you thought to think, well, every Native American that walks down the street, a stupid and ignorant racist, can judge them and say, get out of my face, you redskin, or, oh, go back to where you're from, you redskin, using that slur? So, having these organizations with these slurs and not knowing what they mean, you're a part of the problem. It's okay to not know and be educated. I'm starting to be educated on these things because I didn't know redskin and all these things were a hateful slur to Native Americans. Right? Now, Dan Snyder, he may felt that way in 2013 because, hey, maybe because you have other organizations. So he maybe feel, I'm assuming, that since other organizations like the Cleveland Indians, the MLB team, and the Florida State Seminoles, a college, a university has a mascot. The Seminoles, by the way, now Native Americans may not be hurt by that, but then they probably are. Because who's to say, which I'm pretty sure, let's be honest, I'm from Florida, that's the South. South is the heart of racism, I'm going to be honest with you. Who's to say, which I'm like I said, I'm pretty sure in my opinion, I don't want to stereotype, but in Tallahassee, Florida, those racist kids up in the stands, right, doing the Seminole song and the dance, and they laughing, and they have this, I guess you can say Indian man, right, running down the field, if you know what I'm talking about, before every football game, and they threw the spear right in the middle of the field, the heart of the Seminole, right, they like that. But then you have some of those racist students judging and having racial slurs and hateful things to say to minorities, right? But they so proud of the Seminoles and they're glad to represent this team. That's why I think racist people, they're just stupid, ignorant, and just dummies. Okay? You have racist people that say racist things. They don't like blacks. They don't like people of color, right? But then they go to a restaurant and eat their food and had a nerve to write a racial slur on the tab, which has happened. Like, what's the point of you doing that? You're giving me money. You're not hurting me. That's just stupid. That's ignorance, right? So we have some of these racist kids. They come into they watch the Seminole games, right? They're racist, but not even knowing, or they do know that they singing a Seminole song, right? You singing a Indian man, a Native American riding up and down a horse, but then the next day when they want to use racial slurs and be rude, probably not even in people's face, because some races are cowards, but keep going with the story, right? You have, like I said, the Cleveland Indians and the Florida State Seminoles and University. The Cleveland Indians, they're an MLB team. So maybe this is why Dan Snyder don't want to change his name, because if their organization is not changing their name, why should I change my name? Why should I change our team's name, right? But then sources are saying, other that I looked up, right? You have Bob Costas. He said on live television, and I think this was 2014, I looked up. He said the Redskins, the Washington Redskins, that name is a racial slur. You have a commentator saying this on live television saying, I believe that this name is a racial slur to Native Americans. And then Barack Obama in 2014, sources say, he says, well, if I have a name in an organization that's hurting a sizable amount of people, I would consider changing its name. This is the former president now. So Dan Snyder, why not become part of a change? Why not say, hey, look, let's take change. Let's do this. And in my opinion, I'm getting to the opinion part because I've been to the facts and the sources. In my opinion, guys, let's be honest. If you really have a heart, if you really want to make change, now I don't want to be the one to judge because sometimes you do need somebody to sit you down and tell you maybe why this is a better idea and somebody that has your best interest. But sometimes we shouldn't have to wait on somebody telling us. We should actually do it because we should sit down and be like, hey, this is the right thing. Like I said, I wasn't educated on this term, the redskin, that was harmful for others. But I really think if you're a good person, someone with a heart, you shouldn't do it because, oh yeah, yeah, this may be a good thing, or let me say this, because since I'm saying it throughout the video, you shouldn't do it because business partners are planning to remove themselves from you. You shouldn't do it because it may hurt your money. You shouldn't do it. You should do it because you want to and you know that it can create change. Dan Snyder, yeah, other organizations may not want to change their name, but if you're the first one to do it, then they're gonna follow. I'm telling you, when the Washington Redskins change their name, because it's gonna happen. I really do feel like it's gonna happen. Think about it. If all these companies aren't giving you money and investing, where are they gonna get the money from? Dan Snyder can only do so much. Yeah, he's a billionaire because he's an owner. I don't care what you say. Every owner of an organization is a billionaire. That's just facts. Because they have to pay the players. But here's what I want to say. If once you do something, once the first one does it, the first person, yeah, they may get criticized, they may get judged, but then it becomes a trend. Then it becomes a new wave. Then it becomes change. So Dan Snyder, be the first person to want to create change because believe it or not, you can do it. So once you do it, then the Cleveland Indians may consider about doing it. Once you do it, then the Florida State Seminoles may think about changing to the Florida State Seminoles to something else. Even though I think the Florida State Seminoles may not consider it because I'm gonna say this, it's a Florida thing. Every Florida university is named after the whole state of Florida and the characteristics. Like the Florida Gators, we have Gators, right? Like the Miami Hurricanes, we have hurricanes that come through the city, and then the Florida Seminoles. I guess because up there in Tallahassee, then I forgot we have like the river, Alapache River. Don't quote me on some of these things. I'm just saying they have native names down there too. So that's why those names are very popular in Florida because it's a Florida thing. But all I'm saying is this: we have to create change, and it's gonna happen. It's just sad that we have to wait till. But then again, it's not sad. But I just feel like it's kind of sad that we have to wait till people's money to get hurt or people's business may shut down to be like, okay, fine, I'll change it. No, you should want to do it. That's why with these riots, like I said on my stories, do not judge people that are rioting because then when we do it in a peaceful way, when we do hold hands together and try to do it the Martin Luther King way, it takes forever. So like Malcolm X, hey, by any means necessary. Like Malcolm X said, there's a lot of good people in this world, but there's a lot of bad people in this world. And those bad people are getting in the way of our future, getting in the way of our rights, getting in the way of our opportunities. Okay? Those bad people are in our system. Those bad people are in the criminal system, criminal justice system. Those bad people are in our police force. Not all, but some of them are in our police force. So we have to change. We have to change it within. So I'm with the by any means not necessary. It's getting at this point now. If we do gotta hurt your dollars and cents, if we do gotta hurt these designer stores like Gucci, all right, Louis, all those brands that really don't care about the black people make money off of us. That's why the Native Americans feel the same way because they're making money off of their heritage, but also using a racial slur named redskin. Okay, because That's what the same thing what whites do to blacks. Okay, the N word. Oh, look at this black boy. You see what I'm saying? So think about it. Yeah, you guys may think it's not a racial term, but if you really think about it, it really is. Really, a redskin, you can't pick another name. And it's in, how ironic, it's in the capital, Washington, D.C. You see what I'm saying? So this just shows you how our country, I want to say, is corrupt, but the system is broken, and also just letting people get away with these things and not actually listening. And having these racial people not caring, but so proudly to represent something that's not even their culture, making money off of their culture. You know, like I said, what they do to blacks, make money off of us, make money, steal our style, our culture. Okay, the black facing. All right, and I know you guys been seeing with Shane Dawson. I hope he gets canceled so bad. YouTube needs to step their game up too. If somebody does this, like what Shane Dawson doing, just delete their YouTube channel. YouTube should delete it themselves. YouTube, you guys should step up if you're for the Black Lives. Delete his channel then. Delete Jeffree Star's channel then. Once somebody, TikTok, same thing. They make a racial slur, racial dances, say a racial term. You have people, kids saying pick cotton on TikTok doing those dances. Are you serious? They want to make an apology, which is really not an apology. It's because they're losing subscribers. Like I said, some are genuine, and then some are just doing it because they're losing their subscribers. They're losing their views. It's hurting their pockets. So cut it. So it's getting to a point. I feel like if you really don't not genuine, who cares? We gonna hurt you either in your pocket or on the internet with your views. That's what I'm starting to do. Because I'm not going to give my money to any brands. And I know it's ironic because I'm wearing this, but I like Sean Taylor. But here's what I'm saying. We shouldn't give our money to brands that are hurting others and that are hurting their heritage, that are hurting how they look, and just making fun of them. Not only making fun of them, but just making money off of their pain. Because those companies don't care. Like I said with the Gucci, with the mask, like blackface, like pure blackface. Come on now, with the red lips, trying to make it seem like monkeys off of a cartoon. Really, Gucci? So that's why this redskin it's really a real thing. It's really a real racial term. Like I said, I didn't know this, but that's a real racial slur. If you really think about it, search it up. Search it up. I just searched it up to give you guys this content. Think about it. This racial slur has been here since the 1800s. It began in the 1700s, but then was a big thing in the 1800s. This racial slur has been around for a long time, guys. And then for somebody to make a name, an organization after that, really, that speaks volumes of how this country turns a blind eye. How this country turns a blind eye on the hurt that it brings and the mockery that it brings on others. Wow. Wow, America. And DC, the capital. How ironic. Like, think about that. It's in the capital, our nation's capital. And they have this racial slur as a name for a team that hurts Native Americans across the board. Cleveland Indians. That name hurts Native Americans across the board. Florida State Seminoles. That may hurt Native Americans across the board. Because if you look at the Cleveland Indians, right, the logo is them smiling, right, with an Indian feather in the back of his head. But were the Indians smiling when you slaughtered them? Where the Native Americans were smiling when the Europeans and white Americans were slaughtering them, killing them, throwing them in the river, when the water turned into blood. Now it's called the Red River, where the Native Americans smiling. Right? And if, like I said, see, I'm making references, guys. Catch this. Catch what I'm saying. I know I'm not saying everything. I'm not, like I said, I may not be politically correct, but if you search up the Cleveland Indians logo, it's a smiling, right? Then search up the minstrel show, right? They're making a mockery of African American slaves. Blackface, smiling. You see what I'm saying? Think about it. This hatred is repeating. And they're dumbing it down and see, oh no, it's not a racial slur. It's just a nice cartoon logo. But no, it is a racial slur when you think about it, because what America has done. You're not caring. When you make these logos and names, are you caring about the ones that have died? Are they actually making money Do they even want to be? Do Native Americans want to even support a team or organization that has these racial slurs, like a Redskin or an Indian? Who's to say they want to be called Indians? Why not Native Americans? You see what I'm saying? Because they're the true Americans. So don't just use these names thinking dumbing it down, saying no, it's not hurtful, because it maybe is hurtful. Give it some thought, because it is hurtful. And like I said, also to the blacks, you see with IG models, right, which has been a new thing, or they still doing it. This is a new form of black facing, in my opinion. You have girls, don't get me wrong, okay, if they get tan, they get tan. But when they get really tan, like damn near like a red skinned girl, like a red bone, I guess you can say in the ghetto version of me saying it, like they get like red skin, like if she was a light skinned black chick, then that's when they start to take pictures, the IG models posing. So are they making money off of their white, like off of their pale skin, their white bodies in a bikini, or are they making money off of low key looking like a red skin woman, like a red skin, brown skin African American woman? You tell me if that's blackfacing or not. Making money and making profit off of our culture, off of the way we talk, our music. That's why we gotta start. And I'm not judging whites, like I said, I'm cool with whites, but that's us blacks and other minority groups. We gotta stop letting other people in unless they're really genuine and are themselves. We gotta stop, especially in the rap music and hip hop. We're letting people that are making a mockery of us. Look at Slim Jesus. This rapper had the nerve to say, "Oh, I was pulling out guns in the video to get closer in the black community." So you telling me all black people do is use guns and artillery? You making a stereotype, Slim Jesus, thinking that this is what all we do is shoot people, right? This is what they think of us. You look at Danielle Bregoli, the bad baby. Like I said, she became famous. Who cares? She making the money, right? But then again, why are we? It's low key. It's the consumer's fault. Why are we making these people famous? She's famous off of disrespecting her mother, and then now she wants to become a rapper. And like I said, I don't know how she came up, but then she want to talk ghetto, and she want to act hood and not act like she about it, knowing damn well she not on that street. She not on that street kind of mentality. People gotta fight to survive. And then she's on live saying, "Who wants to be black anyway?" You see what I'm saying? So why are we letting these people on our culture if they're not really for us? If we want to let somebody in our culture, we gotta let them in that really was raised like that, or actually is chill with the culture and is not gonna use it, or should I say, bite our culture, the lingo, the ghetto, the street lingo, bite me to take our style, switch it up all of a sudden, want to act like something they're not, and make money and make profit, because we're seeing this time and time again. Now, I don't want to throw shade because Post Malone, he kind of finessed his way. But Post Malone, right, he wasn't a really hip-hop artist. He's not hip-hop. Now, I know if you go back to White Iver's Son, right, this is what you call a true finesse. When he first started with White Iver's Son, but did you guys know Post Malone wasn't always hip-hop? Post Malone was like I won't say a disco singer, but he was like a country pop singer, but nobody was paying attention. Look it up. Post Malone was all about pop. He was always doing this. He was always doing songs about pop and stuff. But since nobody was listening to his songs, and I guess they were trash, what did he do? He finessed his way because the trap sound, trap beats, and hip hop is the number one thing right now. So what did he do? He made Whatever Son. He did a song with 2 Chainz and Quavo, Congratulations. And then now look, he's making pop songs, right? So stop letting people finesse our culture, making money off of our culture, doing songs with them. And like I said, back to the sports, back to what's happening. FedEx, they're making a change. They're Mr. Frederick Smith. He is not the CEO of FedEx. Like how he sent the letter. Right, he's echoing the same thing his 80% of shareholders, investors, and the groups that invest in the FedEx that are planning on and take their money and invest it somewhere else because they don't want to work with a company that's associated with another organization that's using a racial slur to hurt others, or not to hurt others because I don't think they would intentionally hurt others, but the racial slur that may hurt others or make money off of their pain and profit, hurting or diminishing their ancestors, diminishing their true well, I guess you could say background names of what they really are wanted to be called as Native Americans, and switch it around and say, oh, they're the Redskins. Well, I'm pretty sure racist people probably can call them Redskins and use that as a racist slur. They're not gonna want to work with somebody like that. So FedEx, Mr. Smith, he's planning to do the same thing. Since now his shareholders are planning to take the money from his pockets, right? Hey, you don't want nobody hurting your pockets. If this organization may cause you to hurt their pockets, then they're gonna cut ties. So FedEx soon is gonna be planning to terminate their partnership with the Washington Redskins as a partnership, as a business partnership. And if FedEx do that, if they really do that, because they still have a contract, if FedEx do that, think about it, guys. Washington Redskins are gonna be in a big hole. I don't know if they're gonna be able to play games. Think about it. Washington Redskins don't own Dan Snyder don't own the whole team. Guess what? FedEx, Mr. Smith, right? The dude won 165 or 62 billion assets to that team, right? They made that stadium because that's the FedEx stadium. Number one. Number two, they're 10% of the ownership. 10%. So if FedEx terminate their partnership, what happens? The stadium goes away because that's their name on that stadium. They the ones that put their money into that stadium, and I'm pretty sure the other owners did to put that money in to build their stadium. But I'm pretty sure FedEx mostly put their money in to build that stadium because it's the FedEx stadium, right? So the Washington Redskins and the FedEx, that stadium could promote the FedEx brand even more. But if they don't want to work with this team anymore and to terminate their partnership, what happens? The stadium goes, the investment goes. Then Snyder's gonna have to figure out other investments from somewhere else, if that's even possible. If they still keep this name that's a racial slur, it's gonna be tough. And sources are saying from Sports Center, Stephen A. Smith, one of my favorite commentators, and other commentators, which I'm gonna put that video and the link in the bio talking about changing the name. I repeat, click in the link in the bio, click the video, and watch how Stephen A. Smith and two other commentators talk about that slur and how they probably do need to change that name, which it will happen. See that Stephen A. Smith said it himself. Sources are saying DC, the nation's capital, if FedEx do to terminate their partnership, the capital isn't gonna fund the team more money to build another stadium. That capital isn't gonna do that. So Dan Snyder, where are you gonna get the money from to build a new stadium? If FedEx don't want their name on that stadium that has a team that plays in the stadium but uses a racial slur, where are you gonna find the money, Dan Snyder? Where? So, like Stephen A. Smith said, Dan Snyder's gonna change that name. Because the first time Dan Snyder said we're never going to change the name, Dan Snyder, if you don't change the name, guess what? They're going to probably find him a new owner. They might find a new owner, I believe. Because all the players got to do is, like what Kaepernick did, just I would say sit out and boycott. That's all they got to do as well.